So normally we would do this in front of the class and we'd go through each one and talk about the answer. What I want to do is I want to walk through them and talk about my answers, why I picked them, and how they make sense. You are going to have to summarize for NWEA. I want you to be confident summarizing and know that you're going to have to read a very long paragraph and then pick one answer that summarizes, and then the next question is going to be different long paragraphs. You're going to have to read a lot for NWEA. We already know this. You have 50 questions. So for this is not on Canvas. I just want you to listen to me and understand why I picked the answers that I picked. So twin brothers Don and Ron had a problem. They really wanted to get their mother something awesome for her birthday, but they were broke. She loved going to the theater. At least she told them that she used to go to plays all the time before her job and family took up all her time. She had often talked about her favorite plays. Don and Ron would have loved to buy her some theater tickets, but they had zero money. The boys put their heads together, and they came up with an idea. The twins went to the public library, and they scoured the shelves to find some of the plays their mother had mentioned. They found them and then went home and dug through them. They found scenes from each that they could perform with two people. They got to work coming up with props and costumes. They practiced, memorized lines as best they could, all the way up to their mom's birthday. That night, they sat her down on the couch. The twins presented 5 Scenes for Mom, a Ron and Don production. It was amazing, and their mom wept tears of delight. So, which of the following is the best summary of the story? Ron and Don wanted to do something special for their mom's birthday. They didn't have any money. The two sons decided to present their mom with 5 scenes from some of her favorite plays. She loved the gift. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to pick that one because it's the first one, and I'm going to keep going and see if anyone sounds better than that. So Ron and Don wanted to do something really special for their mom's birthday, but they were lazy and they didn't earn any money. The two sons decided to present their mom with 5 scenes from some of her favorite plays. I don't really like that one because it says that they're lazy and there's nothing in the story that says they're lazy. Ron and Don wanted to do something really special for their mom's birthday, but they didn't have any money. The two sons decided to present their mom with 5 scenes from some of her favorite plays. They found some plays at the library and spent a lot of time practicing scenes and making props. They even made their own costumes. Their mom really loved the performance. I think this is good, but I think this is too long. For a summary, you don't really want it to be this long. You want it to be concise. So I still like number one better. Ron and Don wanted to do something really special for her mom's birthday, but they only had a little bit of money to spend on a gift. The two sons decided to present their mom with 5 scenes from some of her favorite plays. She loved the gift. So this one says a little bit of money, and in the story it says they had zero money. So I'm going to not do that one, and number one will be my pick. Number two. Ryder didn't know how to ride his new skateboard, but he'd often watch the kids at the skate park flying through the air and wanted to be part of that scene. Everyone seemed everyone there seemed so cool. He brought his skateboard down there and went to the top of a very small ramp. He tried to go down it and went tumbling. Luckily, he had it on a helmet and pads, so he didn't hurt badly. As he sat up, Ryder started giggling. He had really wanted to fill in here, but he'd done the opposite. He'd picked up his board and ran away. At home, Ryder threw the skateboard into the garbage can, but as he started walking away, he stopped himself. He decided that he wasn't going to quit. Instead, he practiced. He rode around his neighborhood and gained confidence, and then his brothers helped him build a small ramp in the backyard. Day after day, Ryder skated up and down the ramp, getting higher and higher until he was twirling through the air. Finally, he headed back down to the skate park. The same kids that laughed a few months earlier were soon cheering on Ryder as he soared through the sky. Which of the following details would be best to include in a summary of the story? Which of the following details would be best? You are choosing the best. There is going to be more than one that makes sense. You have to choose the best one. You need to eliminate all the other three. So everyone at the skate park seemed really cool to Ryder. That was true, but that's not a very important part of the story. but I'm going to choose it because it's the first one, and then I'm going to work through the others and keep going until I find the best one. So Ryder had on a helmet and pads, so the fall didn't hurt too bad. That was just one sentence of this 2-paragraph passage. So I don't like either one, so I'm going to keep the first one. Ryder decided that instead of quitting, he would practice on his skateboard. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That kind of is the main idea of the story. That could also be a theme of don't quit. So I like that one better than the first one. Ryder's brothers helped him build a small ramp so that he could practice. It's true. But that was only one or two sentences out of this whole thing. So I really like the third one better. When Aurelia checked her email, her eyes widened. Panic set in. She had gotten the time of her interview wrong. It was an hour earlier than she had thought. She absolutely couldn't be late. She really wanted this job, but she knew that punctuality was something that they really valued over at Stereo Kingdom. She really had to move. So before we get reading the rest of this, I want to ask you what punctuality means. So I want you to think about it for a second. So using your context clues, you can tell that she doesn't want to be late. She really wanted the job, but she knew that punctuality was something that they really valued. Punctuality is just being on time. Luckily, Aurelia had already showered and dressed. She looked at the bus schedule and she had tacked to the wall, and it told her that the bus wouldn't be an option. Aurelia hustled outside and unlocked her bike. She pedaled like mad for the mall. She checked her watch when she was halfway there, did some quick math in her head, and knew she wasn't going to make it unless she took a detour. She had to make a decision: be late or be dirty. Knowing that the interview would be canceled if she were late, Aurelia chose to be dirty. She veered off the main road and took the muddy path through the woods. Caked in mud, Aurelia skipped up to Stereo Kingdom with a minute to spare. Despite her appearance, Aurelia impressed Stereo King Mr. Poole with her determination, and she got the job. Which of the following summaries is an opinion that should not be included? This is where they are making sure you read the question, because the last two, it was choose the best one for the summary. This one is which one has an opinion that should not be included at all. So Aurelia was running late for her interview. Okay, that should stay, but she was determined to make it there on time. She wanted her bike and pedaled to the mall as fast as she could. Aurelia only made it to the interview time because she took a money detour. She was dirty, but she got the job. Okay, there's nothing in there that I would really take out. A lot of it is kind of what the story was about. There's no real opinion that should not be included. This key word right here, opinion, is what you should look for. There's going to be an opinion in here somewhere. Summaries shouldn't really have opinions unless it's a persuasive. But even then, you saying the article said that gorillas are the best animal, that's not your opinion. That's just what the article said. Aurelia had an important interview, but she had gotten the time wrong. In order to make it there, Aurelia made a detour through the woods, which left her caked in mud. Aurelia did make it on time. She even got the job despite being muddy. Luckily, Mr. Poole, the boss, doesn't have high standards. So that didn't say anything about standards, Mr. Poole having high standards. So that one's has an opinion that shouldn't be included. And that's more likely than the first one. So we're going to keep going. Aurelia misjudged the time of her interview by a whole hour. She rushed out the door and onto her bike. In order to make it to the interview on time, she had to take a path through the muddy woods. Aurelia was caked in mud when she arrived at Stereo Kingdom, but she earned herself a new job. There was no opinion in this whole passage. So this one doesn't count. You shouldn't choose this one. You should just skip over it because there's no opinion. Aurelia was late for a job interview at Stereo Kingdom. The only way that she could possibly make it on was to take a path through the woods on her bike. She knew that she would be dirty during the ride, but it was the only choice she had. Aurelia arrived just in time, but she was covered in mud. Mr. Poole was impressed with her determination and gave Aurelia the job. Again, there was no opinion. There was no opinion in number 1, 3, or 4. So number 2 is really the only option. Make sure you read the questions carefully. If you need to go back and look at the passage, do it. There is no time limit on NWEA. There's no time limit of most of the things we do in class. Take your time, read it, think about it, and then move on. This is going to be the last one that I do in this video, but I want to show you the rest of them and give you a chance to read through them and pause the video and see if you can figure out the answers. We are going to go over the answers of 5, 6, 7, and 8 on Tuesday, but I'm not going to go over them in this video. I want you to pause the video, read it, and find the answer. That way on Tuesday, you're not behind. So number 4 says Valencia was having an exceptional day. She earned an A on her history project and landed the lead in the school play. Now she just wanted to head home and grab her soccer uniform and get to the field for the league playoff game. As she was joyfully twirling her keychain around her finger, however, it flew off right into a sewer grate. A key on that keychain was the only way Valencia could get into her house, and she really needed that uniform. She was the Mustangs' star player. Valencia looked through the gate and could see the keychain sitting just a few inches down. She tried to poke her fingers through, but they just couldn't reach. She tried to lift up the grate, but she couldn't budge it. Valencia plopped down on the curb and put her head in her hands. Finally, she looked up and noticed the building across the street. She had an idea. She ran across to the dry cleaners and asked if they had an old wire hanger she could have. They did. She fashioned the broken hanger into a hook and threaded it through the gate and carefully extracted her keychain. She then rushed home, gripping her keychain as tightly as possible. Which details from the story should be included in a good summary? Select all that apply. There is going to be more than one answer when it says select all that apply. So Valencia earned an A on her history project. No, I don't think that was important to the story. I don't think it would be included in a good summary. Her keychain flew off her finger and landed in a sewer grate. Yep, I think we should know how we got to the situation that we got into. She needed the keychain in order for her soccer uniform, and Valencia held her head in her hands as if she was giving up. Again, I don't think that's an important detail that we need to add to the story. I think the two that we could have in a summary that is going to make this story as concise as possible is her keychain flew off and she needed the keychain in order to get to her soccer uniform. So this is number 5. I want you to read it and think about which answer you would have. You can pause this video. I'm only going to give you a few seconds, so I'm going to give you a few seconds to pause it, and then I'm going to move on to number 6. Okay, remember, this question says best summary. Best. Eliminate. Use elimination. Get rid of the ones that don't make sense. Even if you're going to guess, if you can get rid of one of them, that takes your chances from 25% to 33%. If you can get rid of 2, it takes your chances from 25% to 50%. Eliminate. Here's number 6. I'm going to give you a few seconds to read it, and then I want you to try to pick your answers. It says select all that apply. Remember, that means there's going to be more than one answer. They are telling you it's more than one answer. This is number 7. This one is having you kind of grade their summary. And the last one, number 8. Which the following is the best summary. Eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. I hope you guys are doing great for the sub. I hope everything's going well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I might answer it. I might not, depending on what's going on at that specific time. But I need you to stay focused. I need you to get ready for NWEA. and I need you to rock it today. See ya.